Ooh, baby. Ooh, yeah.
Born on May 3rd of 1981, Ho-yoon grew up in the city of Incheon. Little Ho-yoon was raised by her maternal grandmother. After she was born, her father wanted to abandon her at an orphanage, which led to a breakup with Ho-yoon's mom. She was supposed to marry him but couldn't live with someone who wanted to abandon her child, so she was left alone. Consequently, Ho-yoon spent her childhood living with her grandmother and grew up without ever seeing her father's face, which of course really affected her. As she would tell years later, the thing I hated the most was hearing that I didn't have a father. Ho-yoon was known to be an exemplary kid in school. She was a very good student. She took Korean dance for 2 years in middle school and even served as the class president. The vice president of her class would grow up to become the famous actor Jung Tae-woo. When she entered high school, she began to dream of appearing on television and becoming a star, which her mother opposed. So as a result, she started to secretly participate in various auditions and attend acting classes in academies. Growing up in such a difficult situation led to a promise to help those in need through her work in the future. Initially, Ho-yoon showed a lot of interest in acting, and it didn't take long until she snatched her first role on TV. In 1996, at the age of 15, she made her debut under the stage name Lee Hae-ryun in the 3rd episode of the iconic show New Generation Report, Adults Don't Know, of KBS1.
아침 시간이 좀 길게 필요하는 지각해도 봐줘야 되는 거 아니니?
She played the main role of the episode Princess Syndrome, Star Syndrome, which led to the coining of the term that is now recognized in popular culture. The show was incredibly popular among teenagers. She played a narcissist student who was not liked by the audience. The antipathy towards the character splattered onto the actress, so she gained a rather snobby image. But thanks to her talent, her career as a young actress took off. She began appearing on high-rated shows and landed various roles in new dramas. However, the unlikable image continued to follow her, as most of the characters she was playing had a bad attitude as well. In 1998, she was a part of the movie 17, which features one of the top boy groups at the time, Seshkis, playing the girlfriend of one of the members. After the negative reception she got from the film, she was feeling mentally exhausted because people couldn't separate the characters from her real self, and would go as far as to jeer, verbally abuse her, and even send her death threats. Ultimately, she decided to pause her career. The last movie she participated in was Rush, which came out in 1999. In the year 2000, she started in a CF for Vico Green, and would then step back from the spotlight. In the meantime, in 2002, she enrolled as a freshman at university, majoring in theater and film, and kickstarted her dream of becoming a singer. She had already received offers to start a singing career several times over the years, but always declined. The composer Jo Sung-jin, who she already knew, called her after seeing her on a show and asked if she had ever thought about becoming a singer, and suggested that she collaborate with him on an album he would produce. At first, she refused the offer as she didn't want people thinking she was just trying to do everything. But after a year of persuasion, she thought it would be a good opportunity and agreed. He told her it would not be easy, which increased her determination. Becoming a singer became her main focus. She started to take singing and dancing lessons. She would sneak into the practice room in the afternoon when it was empty and practice until 4 or 5 in the morning. She lost a lot of weight, her voice became thicker and more husky, and she almost developed vocal cord nodules from the extreme training. During this period, she would question herself a lot, wondering what she was doing and where she was going. As she expressed, "I couldn't see the way forward." Her mother questioned why she was going through all this hardship instead of just continuing as an actress. But after 3 years of rigorous training, she was ready to begin her journey as a singer. She signed with the agencies Dreambeat and JS Entertainment and started her path as Uni.
안녕하세요. 참가 번호 1번 유니입니다.
Uni wanted a fresh start as a singer, and that's why she changed her stage name. According to her own words, she wanted to erase her image as an actress. "I didn't want to be seen as just another actress trying to be a singer." She prepared meticulously for the release of her first album, even taking a leave of absence from school. She had to redo the recording several times before it finally came out on June 12th of 2003, under the title Uni Code. From hip-hop to disco, Uni Code blends various genres, but is primarily a dance pop record. The majority of the songs are focused on showing her dance skills, but she also got to showcase her vocal ability with the ballads Happy Together and To You. The 9th track, Oh Punch, is a remake of Sweetbox's Don't Push Me. Among all songs, the one chosen as the title track was the High Energy Go, which combines rock and dance music and gained a music video full of drama. The song was originally made for a male group, but Uni herself decided that she wanted to try it. 2 days ahead of the release, Uni made her jaw-dropping stage debut on Music Bank. Uni left everyone shocked with her new image. That was completely different from what they remembered. She was now an adult and debuted showing her mature side. The results of the insane training period Uni went through really showed as she arrived in the music industry singing, rapping, and dancing, all in just one song, with her mic on and challenging choreography in high heels. Even though lip syncing was very common back then, she's known for singing live. Uni was a hurricane on stage, sweeping through everything in her way with breathtaking moves, hair flips, bright smile, remarkable beauty, and star power. All of that made her one of the greatest performers that has already graced the K-pop stage, who was always challenging the limits. But unfortunately, her talent was almost ignored by the public. Uni was received in the music field the same way she was received in the acting, with lots of unfounded hate. She got criticism for having an explosive stage presence, but a calm personality. When she began visiting the broadcasting stations more often, she ran into people she used to know and heard sarcastic comments about her starting a singing career. At the time, Lee Hyori had just gone solo and was at the peak of her popularity, so a lot of comparisons were made. Since both singers carried a more sexy image, they were not treated as serious singers by many, and were victims of many misogynistic comments. One time, they appeared together on the same broadcast and were accused of being fake friends on camera because they looked serious in photos taken during a break, as well as disrespectful to seniors for no apparent reason. At the end of the year, both of them ranked among the top 3 in the category Worst Singers of the Celebrity Anti Awards. Although female soloists were always less likely to gather a big fan club and achieve huge success in the industry, Uni was able to gain a decent amount of fans who were mostly boys. Uni Code peaked at number 36 on the Korean charts and sold over 10,800 copies. Go reached the top 50 in the karaoke popularity rankings of August and had a stable performance on music show charts. The song is still remembered for being a part of the worldwide popular game Pump It Up. Go moved beyond national borders and was re-recorded by the Japanese singer DJ Ozma and was already heard at sold-out stadiums. The legendary baseball player, Lee Seung-yup, also known as Home Run King, chose Go as his theme song. Uni's schedule was full: TV show appearances, brand advertisements, and a follow-up release. During the first 3.5 months of her idol career, she only took 2 days off, leading to a lot of weight loss and many comments about her appearance. Ever since her return to the public eye, she was getting a lot of hate for supposedly having plastic surgery. People would take pictures of her face and body when she was a kid, compare to recent ones, and make really nasty comments. The rumors gained so much attention that Uni clapped back at them different times. I lost about 5 kilograms compared to my acting days. Whether I say yes or no, if I mention anything about the rumors, the response will be overwhelming and it would be hard to handle, so I won't say anything. But the biggest controversy was still yet to come. Uni was a cast member of the dating show Match Made in Heaven. In the first episode, the men of the show had to choose the girl they liked the most, and none of them chose Uni. She felt upset and ended up crying on air, which provoked outrage among netizens. According to NamaWiki, this incident marked the peak of the negative attention directed towards her, with people calling her fake, accusing her of having a princess complex and filling her pages with curse words. Industry professionals were able to see through the controversial figure that people made out of Uni for no justifiable reason and gave her a lot of positive reviews. Just 10 days after her debut, she was selected as a rising star on KM Flash, a segment on KM TV show Music Tank that used to spotlight up-and-coming artists. Prominent singers such as Rain and Wisang had passed through the show before. The media outlet Sports Daily made an article calling Uni a promising newcomer and a jaw-dropping singer. With her sexy looks, impressive dancing skills, and sultry stage presence, Uni is garnering the attention of music industry insiders. In particular, male fans who watched Uni stage had something to say about her mesmerizing gaze and splendid dance. Sports Soul compared her to the iconic soloists Lee Jung-hyun and Park Ji-yoon, adding, "She is solidifying her place as the best rookie female singer of the year with her charisma in both dance and vocals."
앞으로 이제 나온 지 이제 진짜 아직 못 됐거든요. 앞으로 남은 기간 동안요. 타이틀곡과 그리고 이제 후속곡까지 여러분들한테 열심히 하는 모습으로 보여드릴게요. 네, 감사합니다. 멋지죠. 기대해보고 진짜 대박 나시길 바랄게요. 감사합니다.
Uni fell in love with music and being on stage. Once you experience the immersion of performing and singing on stage, you understand the joy. I can show everything I can do. Also, being able to feel the reaction of the fans on the spot is incredibly rewarding. While acting, it's tough waiting on set for a long time. I don't plan to return to acting until I'm fully established as a singer. I recently appeared as a cameo in Nonstop 3, and after watching the footage, I realized I looked awkward. She really wasn't just another actress trying to be a singer. Uni was passionate about her craft and gave it her all. I've been on a break for too long, so I'll show myself as much as I can. I have many worries and concerns, but when I'm on stage, I feel energized. Uni expressed ahead of the release of her first record in a year and 6 months. She finished recording her sophomore album in November of 2004, but its release kept being delayed. This marked a very dark period in Uni's life. She developed depression, spent nights without sleeping, and suddenly felt doubtful about her work. I cried for several days. I gained 5 kilograms in 4 months due to bulimia. I wondered if being a singer was really what I should do. Uni found comfort by going back and forth only between her home and church. According to Uni herself, her depression eventually turned into determination for her new album. An idol opening up about such delicate topics in the 2000s was pretty much unheard of. So for her to speak out on these issues while being part of an industry that expected her to act as if she wasn't human was truly symbolic and exemplifies how South Korea was not ready for Uni. In February of 2005, Uni's second album, also known as Call Call Call, finally came out. Also produced by Jo Sung-jin, Call 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 aimed to reduce the chaos of her first album with R&B.
제가 약간 좀 젊게 파워풀하게 가고 싶었고요. 그리고 음악 장르도 힙합 R&B로 해서 약간 좀 흥을 돋굴 수 있게끔 준비를 했고요.
You can still find elements from other genres, like in the B-side I Want You, released for the fans who enjoyed the sound from her debut. Her voice naturally shifted from a high pitch to a more mid to low range in this record, and she was very active in its creative process. It was Uni's decision to make a more cohesive body of work. She also took part in the writing of 4 songs.
이 곡도 유니가 썼습니다. 유니가 썼으니까 꼭 들어봐 주세요. 이 곡은요, 계속 중독된 사랑에 대해서 적었고요. 약간 야시시한 분위기로 적었어요. 그리고 Don't Cry Again. 콜콜콜만큼 좋고요. 콜콜콜이 좋다는 건 제 소견이긴 하지만 여러분 여하튼 이 노래도 되게 좋아요. 그리고 그날 이후. 그날 이후 이 곡은 제 발라드 곡이죠.
The seductive title track carries the same title as the album and samples Hit the Freeway by the North American singer Toni Braxton. The song was composed by the member of Goofy, Park Sung-ho, and took Uni's career to a new level.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, yeah.
The live performances of Call 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 were sexy and enchanting, perfectly matching the slow and sensual vibe of the song. They also featured powerful moves, including a breakdance on the floor, and of course, a lot of hairography in true Uni fashion. The song gained a music video that combined a sexy concept with horror. Due to its concept, sensual vibe, and revealing dress that Uni wore, the video stopped South Korea and quickly became the hottest topic in the country, even making it to the news. Because of the choreography, the dress exposed her breasts in some scenes, making the editor add a blue effect to cover the malfunction. The MV was banned from broadcast by MBC, given a 19+ rating by KBS, and was restricted from being aired before 11 p.m., so it had to be re-edited. Uni's agency requested a re-examination from each broadcaster, but their management was pretty disappointing during this era. With an average of 100,000 daily views, the music video for Call 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 rose to number 1 on Daum in just 2 days. Its success made Uni dominate the top 2 of the chart, as it also influenced the MV for Go to reach the 2nd position at the same time. A month after the comeback, the record was re-released as a repackaged digital album under the title Passion and Pure, having as its lead track a remix of Call Call Call, titled Call 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 Club Mix, which samples the hit Into Club of the rapper 50 Cent. The club mix version became more famous than the original, hitting the 13th position on Melon. But for some reason, it was removed from services just before the promotional activities started. The reaction to Uni's return was so big that Go experienced a rise on the music charts as well. So it's really a pity that the company didn't know how to handle the amount of success. But despite the mismanagement, Call 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 is a mark of the early 2000s, spending several weeks on the top of pop music charts. Uni said that she was really surprised by the fans' attention. The promotions for her 2nd album were closed with the single Father. Described as a song created for people who were struggling, Father is a song Uni felt a personal connection to because of her story with her dad.
아버지는요, 힙합 중에 발라드 곡이고요. 약간 발라드보다는 살짝 더 템포가 있을지 모르겠지만 그냥 발라드를 보시면 될 것 같아요. 그리고 들으시기에 요새 많이 힘들어하시는 아버님들 힘들어하시지 말라고 기운 내시라는 의미를 담은 노래입니다.
She hosted a party for her fans at a club in Seoul to celebrate those who supported her singing career. She performed different songs including Father, and received much praise from the public and the press, even being compared to ballad singers due to her vocals. Uni expressed on stage, "I am so thankful to everyone who has supported me in my activities, and today is one of the happiest days of my life." In spite of having gained much notoriety, it is believed that the hate against Uni was getting in the way of her commercial performance.
Uni!
At the same time that she was one of the most talked about stars, the attention was not converted into sales since most people didn't saw her in a good light. With over 7,600 sales, Call peaked at the 26th spot. Even with the negative consequences that fame brought, Uni was living her dream of being a superstar.
Cause I freeze you in my mind, then I set you away. 네가 날 싫어해도 내가 널 좋아할 수도 있어. You put me like body on the sun. I'm that girl, I'm that hot, I'm that attitude. 내가 정할게 나의 mood, I'm that attitude.
She signed a contract with Onsi Telecom as an advertising model and was called the new CF Queen by the media. Performed at the large-scale events, Mega Summer Concert and Dream Concert. Captivated over 600,000 soldiers with a series of shows for the military, who prepared for her a large placard that said Uni-chan. She threw an amazing performance at the MTV Live Wow, making the crowd scream the entire time, which put a giant smile on her face. Being one of the Hallyu queens from her era, Uni even got to perform in different parts of Asia, such as Japan and China.
지금껏 중국 공연 준비 열심히 했으니까요. 내일 무대 화려하게 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
She was a part of the Korea-China Star Concert, putting on a show for approximately 50,000 people. She almost had to cancel her performance because she injured her knee while rehearsing. Her condition worsened when she arrived in the country, but she received acupuncture, acupressure treatment, and went on stage with a bandage wrapped around her knee.
이 콜콜콜로 가요계 섹시붐을 일으킨 유니가 지난주에 열린 한중 콘서트에서 중국에서의 첫 무대를 가졌습니다.
The Chinese public went crazy over Uni. She received a lot of cheers and applause from fans. Some even ran towards the stage screaming for her. A prominent daily newspaper in Jinan covered the Korea-China Star Concert as a top story and showed significant interest in Uni. Uni, with her sexy figure, captivating choreography, and great vocal ability, took the stage and captivated the audience in a short white skirt.
안녕하세요. YTN 시청자 여러분, 가수 윤입니다. 저는 지금 중국 제남성에 와 있고요. 여기 공연 준비하기 위해서 여러분들.
The singer was surprised with all the love she received in the country. I thought people wouldn't recognize me in China, but surprisingly, many knew my face, and I was very shocked. Fans wished her company would debut her in China since she was so well received there, but this turned out as yet another missed opportunity in her career. Uni further solidified her title of Sexy Queen by appearing as the guest star in Goofy's Hey DJ video. She achieved the peak of her success, but as the famous Japanese saying goes, "Deruki wa utareru," the nail that sticks out gets hammered down. The attacks were really getting to her around this time. Call intensified even further the misogynistic comments. As a result, her stage outfits were changed to a less sexy style. The public felt that her vocals were not very stable anymore and that she didn't seem comfortable and confident on stage like she used to be. Internet users wondered if she had lost her confidence because of the comments that they made, so they left even more hateful comments and malicious comparisons with other singers. It was in 2005 that Uni opened her very own personal Cyworld account. At the time, Cyworld was South Korea's most popular social media platform, so whenever a celebrity opened their page, people wanted to follow as it gave them the chance to keep up with the stars they only saw on TV and magazines on a closer level. But when Uni created hers, it was bombarded with hateful comments. The love messages from fans could not compete with the bucketful of hate, and it is very likely that Uni saw most of them, as she did not only reply to her fans' comments, but also visited their profiles and thanked them through personalized messages. Uni publicly expressed that the malicious comments were hurting her, but it didn't help, so she had no choice but to take a step back from Cyworld. She created her account seeking the love and warm support of her fans, but instead, most people went there to bully her. So she apologized to her fans, saying that she could no longer interact with them.
하루에 짧게는 4시간, 9시간, 9시간을 연습을 했어요. 되게 오래 걸리거든요. 그래서 노력을 되게 많이 했고요. 무릎도 많이 까지고 발톱도 빠지고. 네. 글쎄요, 저는 그래요. 왜냐면 제가 어떤 대답을 하더라도 그것에 대한 리플은 달려요. 불확정성의 원리는 아실 거예요. 그러니까 yes라고 하면 yes에 대한 리플, no라고 하면 no에 대한 리플. 어차피 이거는 끊이지 않는 일이라고 생각을 하거든요. 그러니까 저는 죄송스럽지만 그냥 가수로서 저를 봐주셨으면 하지, 저를 뭐 이렇게 막 그런 식으로 도마대 위에 올려놓고 이렇게 막 분석, 비교 분석하고 막 이거를 원하는 거는 아니거든요. 그냥 가수 일미로 봐주시고요. 한 인간이고요. 그냥 열심히 노력하는 가수의 모습 보여드리고 싶다는 말밖에는 달리 할 말은 없는 것 같아요.
Uni wanted to be taken seriously as a singer. She wanted people to know her for her music and her music only, having already turned down offers to pose naked that even reached the mark of 1 billion won. While people saw her sexiness as a monster, for her, it was nothing but a way of expression. A concept is just a concept. Later, I could go for a boyish concept, or I could even choose purity as a concept. I thought my fans were in their 20s, so I chose sexiness as the concept for them, she declared on an interview. But people had already made their minds. They hated Uni, not because she was a criminal or a bad person, but because she was a beautiful, successful, free young woman. Even her mother experienced harassment online after she appeared on TV and got emotional talking about the hate her daughter received.
또 안티도 있고 팬도 있고 정신적으로 스트레스가 많을 거니까 그런 점은 힘들 거예요. 그래서 그런 게 안쓰러워요.
안티 같은 거 이렇게 많이 들으시고 보시고 그런 것도 아니시고?
처음에 모르고 봤는데 보면 심정이 너무 상하고 또 그게 어떤 때는 너무 근거 없이 황당한 일이 너무 많아가지고 그리고 자기 기분대로 또 자기 또 거기 화풀이 대상일 수도 있고 그런 거는 조금 상가했으면 좋겠다는 생각이 들고요. 좋은 충고는 받아들여서 발전하는데 쓰면 더 좋고.
People degenerated Uni's image so much that according to rumors, many celebrities began to avoid and straight up ignore her. Celebrity managers didn't even want interactions between Uni and their artists to be reported. She suffered harsh criticism for accepting the invitation to Kim Taehee's birthday party, but still gave a performance at the event and gifted the actress, who had always wanted to meet her, a signed CD. Uni didn't had many friends in the industry. Some of them were Jeannie and Min Young of Diva, the soloists Maya, Mina, and Gilgan. She was very close to the actors So Eugene, Lee Hwa-sun, and Liu Shiwon. Her Hwa-sun and Shi-won formed the celebrity car racing team R-Stars. As aside from being a legendary singer and actor, Shi-won is also a professional car racer. When Uni attended KMTV's rebranding celebration party at the end of 2005, the VJ Charlie Park expressed his frustration over the fact that her soft side was not known. He said, I wanted to show Uni's gentle heart because it doesn't often come through on broadcast. Because she was seen as a controversial person, Uni was invited to appear on the show Image Survival. The program aimed to save the image of controversial celebrities, but they actually humiliated Uni on national television. There were also criminals on the show, but the actor and said comedian, Lee Kyung-gyu, ranked her as the #1 celebrity he would not like his daughter to become. This time, it was so bad that the viewers felt uncomfortable watching. But the situation was downplayed and the writers ended up being the ones who received criticism for the terrible segment.
네, 섹시한 뮤직비디오로 대중들의 관심을 모으고 있는 가수 유니가 일본에서 활동 제의를 받았습니다. 유니는 얼마 전 일본의 홍보기획사인 오프런트 오브 제티마로부터 파격적인 조건의 스카우트 제의를 받았습니다. 오프런트 오브 제티마는 일본에서 장동건, 권상우, 김승우의 DVD를 출시한 일본 굴지의 연예 기획사입니다. 오프런트 오브 제티마는 유니의 앨범 타이틀곡 콜콜콜의 일본어 버전 뮤직비디오를 다시 촬영해 일본에서 활동을 하자는 제의를 했습니다. 유니 소속사 측은 현재 일본의 제의를 긍정적으로 검토 중이며 곧 구체적 논의가 있을 것이라고 말했습니다.
Despite having just returned to university in September after a 3-year-long break, Uni started 2006 by taking a huge step in her career and expanding her opportunities abroad. She had announced through her fan cafe plans for a 3rd album in the first half of the year, but the release was postponed due to her debut in a new country. In February, Uni became one of the first K-pop soloists to debut in Japan. She received an offer from the company of the Japanese supergirl group Moningu Musume to release an album, but it seems the offer fell through. Uni then signed a contract with the agency Jetlink and released a Japanese version of One, a B-side from her latest album. One was released with a single album that contains a fresh version of the song Sun Cruise from her first record, and the brand new Follow Me that would later be included on her 3rd album as well. Uni's arrival in Japan caused quite a stir. It was reported across international media. She held a showcase and moved there in order to promote her new work, but the commercial results were not satisfactory. Jetlink signed Uni along with the fellow Korean soloist Shin Eun-song. The company had plans of releasing a collaboration between the two singers, but they never got off the ground. Uni went back to South Korea and began working on her next release. During her hiatus in Korea, she seemed very discouraged. She made posts on her Psy World, asking people to not leave malicious messages and expressing her pain and loneliness. One of them read, "I feel everything is empty. I am again walking down a path to reach a destination that I don't know." Right after she returned to her country, Uni went through a very scary situation.
가수 유니 씨가 어젯밤 뺑소니 교통사고를 당해 경찰서를 찾았습니다.
While she was in her car waiting at a traffic light at around 10 p.m., a driver who was behind her and appeared to be drunk collided with her car. The accident required 2 weeks of medical treatment, but the driver did not offer Uni any help. When he realized who she was, he just told her, "You seem to be a well-known person, let's just settle this," and left the scene. When the story began to be reported, Uni was met with zero empathy. In fact, most of the commenters were making fun of the accident and making comments about her body. Months later, 2007 arrived, and with it came articles about Uni's big return to the Korean industry. She was set to release a new album with 2 singles, Solo Fantasy and Honey. According to people who worked with her, Uni seemed calm and somehow excited about the promotions of her 3rd record, which would come out on February 1st. The news led to an overwhelming number of people flooding her page with comments such as, "Don't come back," and "Never appear on TV again." 90% of the comments on the articles also asked her not to return. Uni was already in a fragile mental state. Her contract was almost expiring, so this comeback felt like her last opportunity to establish herself. Her mother recalls seeing Uni blankly monitoring her own appearances on TV and being very hard on herself. When her mother suggested taking things slowly, she responded, "How long will it take if I go one step at a time? I've tried so hard, and this is the result?" Uni was set to shoot the video for Solo Fantasy on January 22nd, but one day prior to the recording, Uni took away her own life at the age of 25. Uni was watching TV when family members of her left the house to go to church on a Wednesday at around 10 a.m. When her grandmother arrived home at night, she discovered Uni no longer breathing. The reports of Uni's passing stopped South Korea. The news spread like wildfire, reaching other countries and making fans rush to the hospital where Uni was taken. Her homepage, that was always full of brutal messages, was filled with words of condolence. Nearly 3,000 messages were posted on her website in the first hour the news came out. The increased traffic caused the server to overload. Eugene left a message on her mini homepage at around midnight. "You were so kind that I couldn't help but love you, and so fragile that I was always worried about you. How could you leave without saying anything? I miss you so much," she wrote. The guest book on her page was flooded with over 1,000 posts comforting her. Shiwon shared a photo of our stars and wrote, "I had been carrying this photo in my bag for months to give to you, but in the end, I couldn't give it to you. And this photo became the last one." A clip from 2004 of her on a TV show where she had to complete a mission for people in vulnerable situations in order for them to win money was shared by a PD on his blog along with his own personal story working with the singer. On the show, Uni had to make soap bubbles so that elderly people living alone could win gifts. She spent the whole morning practicing without failing even once, but during filming, she wasn't able to complete the mission and missed out on the prize. She came out of stage apologizing and asked the PD what was the total value of the prizes, saying she would pay the amount to the elderly, plus her appearance fee. The next day, her manager called asking what was the total amount for the prizes. He said that they would send cash since they didn't have time to buy the items. The presents were already sponsored, so even if Uni failed, they would still be donated. But she did not know that, and thought she had made the elderly lose the gifts. The post gained a lot of traction and generated a lot of remorse on netizens, who made comments such as, "She was a warm-hearted person, but it seems we judged her based on her appearance." The belief that the image shown on stage is everything that has taken the life of a beautiful young person. Uni's funeral was held on the afternoon of the 22nd. About 20 people who were close to her, 50 to 60 reporters, 7 wreaths that were sent by singer Han Dae-soo, comedian Kim Jae-dong, and entertainment agencies filled the space. The media was not respectful of the moment at all. They exposed inappropriate details about Uni's passing and treated her funeral like an award show ceremony that was even broadcasted on TV. They recorded and photographed the funeral and even interviewed the people present.
2달 동안 거의 집에 있었거든요. 우울증 때문에 우울증 때문에 집에 있었거든요.
우울증이 많이 심했어요? 알고 계셨어요?
네. 좀 기복이 심했어요, 원래.
솔직히 이게 꿈이었으면 좋겠는데. 그냥 더 이상 이제 이렇게 힘들어하지 말고 고민하지 말고 그냥 이렇게 편안했으면 좋겠어요.
Representatives from Uni's agency told the press, Uni had a lot of emotional distress over the past 20 months due to malicious comments. As a representative celebrity known for her sexy image, she received criticism from netizens and was at the center of controversies over excessive exposure and plastic surgery rumors. Uni had always been sensitive to malicious comments, especially those targeting her image as a sexy performer. No one is comfortable with those kinds of comments. In the wake of her comeback after 22 months, articles were being published, saying where the music video was filmed. And with those articles came conflicting, malicious comments. On Friday, she seemed down, so we asked her if she was worried about those comments. I told her not to worry, and I told her that since she has so much attention, there will be negative comments too. We tried to comfort her. They also got a word from her mother, who even with the indescribable pain, made sure to talk to reporters, because she feared what they could put out next.
추측 기사가 나갈까봐 말씀을 하는 거니까 그렇게들 이해해 주셨으면 좋겠습니다. 연예계 생활하면서 나이 어릴 때 너무 일찍 나가가지고 너무 부닥치고 마음이 여린 데다가 내성적인 아이였거든요. 그래서 그거가 아마 그 아이가 견뎌오는데 혼자 상처를 계속 눌렀던 것 같아요. 그래서 우울증이 좀 있었는데 그게 아마 오늘 그게 원인이 됐던 것 같아요. 그러니까 그렇게 알아주셨으면 좋겠습니다. 평소에 이상한 점은 평소에 이상한 점은 없었고
우울증기가 약간 있어서 약을 먹은 적은 있는데 제가 그걸 완전히 낫다고 생각을 했었어요. 그러니까 그리고 이게 마음이 여린애인데 강한 척하면서 생활하니까 그게 굉장히 버거웠던 것 같아요.
Not many celebrities attended Uni's funeral, which didn't sit well with the rapper Kim Jin-pyo, who publicly criticized the industry and the South Korean Singers Association. He stated, "Even though a singer had died, the Singers Association didn't contact any fellow singers. I didn't receive any notice either, so I had to ask for the address myself to attend the funeral. When I got there were almost no singers. All those so-called polite juniors you see on TV. Are they really too busy to come and pay respects in times like this?" In response, the vice president of the Singers Association at the time, Choi Baek-go, posted a really long and controversial text. He explained that neither Uni nor Jin-pyo were members of the association, that they could not officially organize a condolence visit to the funeral, so they decided to send flowers to express their sympathy. But some parts sparked negative reactions. He continued, "Do you truly have the right to harshly criticize every colleague who didn't attend Uni's funeral? If you had such a grievance, the proper process would have been to come to the association and formally express your concerns. In our association, there are singers far more famous than you, who are making personal sacrifices and working tirelessly for the betterment of all singers." This generated a huge debate online, but most people sided with Jin-pyo and harshly criticized Choi Baek-ho for being insensitive. People went to the pages of various celebrities, left insults, and asked why they didn't attend Uni's funeral. The controversy had such an impact that afterwards, people who work in the entertainment industry began to attend funerals of their peers, even if they were not close. The main target of the attacks was Kim Tae-hee. When people remembered that Uni was invited to her party, which was a surprise party planned by the manager of the actress, netizens chose to believe that Tae-hee was one of the celebrities who had ignored Uni because, according to their theory, Tae-hee was unhappy with the invitation. But this was clearly a desperate attempt to find someone to blame, as there is footage of the two interacting at the party. Articles at the time even speculated about a possible friendship between them. There were also talks that someone from the actress's team asked a reporter from Mnet not to report Uni's attendance. But in reality, after the birthday party, an article was published stating that Tae-hee would also attend Uni's party, so the actress's manager asked for only that part to be deleted, as there was no such agreement between them. Kim Tae-hee's side had to come forward to deny the groundless rumors, stating that the actress was very saddened by the tragedy. The attacks against Tae-hee showed that people didn't learn anything from Uni's passing, as their first response was to bash yet another innocent woman, in an attempt to cope with their own remorse. The release of Uni's upcoming album was almost cancelled, but by request of her family it was decided to be released 6 days after her passing. On January 27th, Uni's final body of work, Habit, came out. Pictures that were taken in the summer of 2006 while she was in Japan were used for the album. The ballad Habits was chosen as the title track and received a music video featuring footage of Uni from her lifetime. The sixth track, Empty Spot in My Heart, was written by Uni herself and was set as the background music on her homepage. The profits from album sales were directed to Uni's family. Uni's mother continued to speak out about her daughter. She gave an interview to Mnet months later and said, "I agreed to the interview to raise awareness about the dangers of celebrities suffering from serious depression. The public image of a star is not the full picture of who they are. Uni was a kind person. I hope people don't see her in a bad light." She also spoke to SBS and revealed that Uni suffered a lot from stress during her debut as a singer. Uni was taking medication and had days when she would sleep all day, and other days she would stay awake the entire time. By the time of Call, she was not happy with her company's decisions and was deeply affected by the hate. She became a very reserved person, even inside her home, barely speaking at all. Uni's passing shed light on the issue of malicious commenters for one of the first times. Less than a month after she passed away, the famous actress, Chung Da-bin, tragically took her own life, and malicious comments were also believed to be one of the reasons. They didn't know each other, but Da Bin mourned the loss of Uni with a message that read, "Dazed. We've never met before, but it's so sudden and heartbreaking. My heart hurts. I hope you're at peace in heaven. My head is dizzy." She was found unconscious at her boyfriend's house just 19 days later. The stars caused a huge discussion and made tons of people reflect on what they were spreading on the internet. Let's block malicious commenters, and let's not leave malicious comments, were some of the responses the news articles got. The politician, Park Geun-hye, announced that she would implement the internet real name system. In order to prevent the negative effects of anonymity and create a clean internet culture, she planned to restrict anonymous posting by making it the law for everyone to use their real identity online. Unfortunately, the initiative didn't move forward, and we would continue to hear about it for many, many years after experiencing the loss of even more young stars. The issue of harmful comments on the internet has continued to show itself as a persistent problem that will most likely never end. When asked how is it like being a celebrity in South Korea back in 2007, Hyori answered, "It's especially tough because South Korea is an internet powerhouse. Every move we make is reported in real time. I feel like the invasion of privacy is getting worse. If Uni and Jung Da Bin were close to me, I would have done whatever I could to help them. It was very heartbreaking." In May of that same year, Siwon came out with his Japanese album, With You. The album contains the song Why, which he wrote in memory of Uni. He displayed a picture of the two of them on the big screen of an arena in Tokyo and read a letter to his friend in front of 17,000 fans, wishing her a happy birthday. "I hope you can achieve all the dreams, love, and happiness that you couldn't hear, even in that place. I miss you." In 2008, Kim Jin-pyo released a song titled Don't Look For Me, which is believed to have been inspired by Uni. Even after all these years, Uni's memory continues alive. Family, friends, and fans continued to hold memorial services for her. On the first anniversary of her passing, her mother and grandmother spoke to reporters. They stated, "I'm always thankful to all the people who remember and think of her. Just 3 days ago, the child appeared in my dream, looking just like she did before. Every time I lie down, I think of her. To think that the child who was younger than this 70-year-old grandmother would go first." On May 23rd of 2007, Min Byung-chul established the Sunful movement against cyberbullying, influenced by Uni. He assigned his students to visit the websites and social media profiles of 10 celebrities each, where they would post positive comments to support them and counteract hateful comments. The initiative became a powerful social movement with the participation of numerous celebrities, around 2,000 schools and institutions. In 2011, he received a national award for the organization. Sunful is still active to this day and has become known across the whole world.
Lawmakers in the Philippines have signed a pledge to combat cyberbullying by taking a more active stance by what's called the Sunful movement.
The last footage we have of Uni is from January 19th and shows her practicing and smiling. Nowadays, she's often referred to as a woman who was ahead of her time.
touch 마세요.
모두가 열광한 그때 누군가는 내 과거를 캐기 시작했지. 나조차도 잃어버린 기억들을 누군가는 기억하고 있었고 아무것도 모르던 사람들은 웬 떡이냐 모여들기 시작했지. 예전 내 얼굴 내 몸치고 이름 그리고 추한 사진 몇 장 내게 물려주는 파리 때 나를 발가벗기려고 하는데 모두가 나를 쥐락펴락 내 정신은 미친듯이 호락가락 내 말은 아무도 관심 없고 나를 밟아 죽이려고 모두 봐라. 단 한마디 말 한번도 해보지 못한 채 난 이미 땅끝으로 추락. 그래 생각해보면 내 당초 난 밟고 밟히는 장초 언제 내 말을 들어줬던가 관심이나 있었던가. 오직 내 얼굴이 바뀌었는지 가슴은 얼마나 커졌는지 내 치마가 얼마나 짧은 건지 내가 누굴 만나는지 나를 도마 위에 올려놓고 싶어.